Okay, good morning and welcome back to SNOGA. This is Yoga for Snowboarders. My name is Sarah and this is Mobility Duo. So my husband and myself put on this page for snowboarders. So Mark, my husband, is a doctor of physical therapy. I am a yoga instructor, certified personal trainer, and licensed massage therapist. And so we do all of that for snowboarders because we are not only snowboarders ourselves, but we are all those things, so we want to help snowboarders as much as we can. That was a mouthful. Today we're going to be doing a 20-minute yoga flow that is kind of, I guess the best word that I can think of is mocked after my hour-long yoga class with my students. And so if you ever want to get into the hour-long classes, it is via Zoom. You can message me or comment below. Otherwise, these 20-minute videos are just kind of sneak peeks of what the full videos or the full yoga classes are like. So today we're going to be working on hips, we're going to be working on rotation, we're going to be working on a little bit of core, a little bit of quads, a little bit of everything. It's going to be nice. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's jump on the mat. Okay, so today we're actually going to start on the back of the mat and we're going to start standing. And I know you can't see me up there, but it'll be okay. We're going to start with our feet together and really trying to spread your toes as much as you can, feeling the ground beneath your feet, and then engaging your legs, engaging your glutes, engaging your core, rolling your shoulder blades up, down, and back. And then the front of your hands are facing the front of the mat. And just standing nice and tall really quick to start, and imagining someone is pulling you up from your ponytail towards the ceiling, rooting your feet into the ground. Beautiful. Let's go ahead. We're going to take a big inhale. We're going to swoop the arms all the way up overhead. And then you're going to grab each elbow. So it's going to look a lot like this. So grabbing each elbow. And then we're going to just go ahead and lean to one side. Doesn't matter which side it is. Just whatever comes most natural. And while you're in this little side bend, just keep breathing in and out through your nose. Beautiful. And then release, coming back up to the top. And then just switch your elbows. So grab the other elbow with the other hand. Maybe it feels a little bit awkward. And then leaning towards the other side. And breathe. Good. In and out through the nose. Beautiful. And then slowly releasing your hands all the way down. Interlacing your fingers behind your back, making your shoulders nice and proud, and then hinging through your hips, small bend in your knees as you allow your hands to fall towards the ground behind you, and release your neck down and breathe. Good. In and out through your nose. Beautiful. And from here, just release your hands down to your butt, slowly keeping your head where it is. Once your hands touch your butt, you can release your grip, bringing your hands down to the ground in front of you. From here, we're just going to loosen up the neck a little bit. So start saying yes with your head. Then you can start saying no and yes, and whichever one feels good. Move your head in any direction you like. Ooh, beautiful. From here, we're going to inhale, bringing our hands to our shins, going into a flat back, straightening out the legs a little bit. And then exhale, small bend in the knees, fold. And we're just going to go back and forth between those two a little bit. So inhale. Good. And exhale, fold. Beautiful. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. Couple more. You can go on your own time. Good. Really feeling that stretch on the back side of the legs. Beautiful. And let's do one more. And fold. fold. And on your last fold, bringing your hands down to the ground and slowly walking your hands all the way out until we're in our downward dog, spreading your feet until you're hip width apart and your shoulders or your hands are shoulder width apart. So make sure you're pressing that ground away from your hands, small bend in your knees. Remember, in downward dog, we don't want to lock out our legs because oftentimes that makes us round our back. So what we want is a straight spine, little bend in the knees, pressing the ground away, wide fingers. And breathe. And start pressing one heel down to the ground and the other. Stretching out those calves a little bit. It's really important for snowboarding to get that ankle range of motion. Good. Beautiful. And go ahead, drop your knees nice and wide, untuck your toes, and sit your hips back onto your heels, forehead to the ground, going into a child's pose. And breathe. Beautiful. From here, coming up into a tabletop position, bringing your knees about hip width apart. We're going to go into a staple, which is puppy press or puppy pose. So we're going to walk our hands all the way out, bringing our nose to the ground, stretching out the thoracic spine, the upper body a little bit, those arms, and breathe. Beautiful. And go ahead, core nice and tight as you shift your weight over your forearms here. Core, 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 as you release yourself all the way down onto the ground, going onto your stomach. So from here, we're going to tee out our arms to either side of us, and then we're just going to bend the right knee, sending that right foot over the left side of the body, going into a little twist. Our first twist today, and breathe. Good. And slowly release that right leg back down to the ground, squaring off your hips. And then same thing on the other side. So bend the left knee as we take that left foot over the right side of the body, going into that little twist. Your head can rest on the ground. And we're really stretching out that pec as well. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. Beautiful. Go ahead and slowly release down to the ground. So here comes the new transitional move. So we're going to bring our left leg up in that 4 position kind of. You know, some people sleep on their stomachs, they'll bring their leg up. So we're doing that with our left side, and then our hands are going to come out in front of us, fingertips on the ground, as we just roll up, looking forward, and then we roll back down, kind of making your spine a wave, tucking your chin as you inhale, come up, and then exhale, release it down. Beautiful. And again, inhale, pressing up. Good, then exhale, coming down. Okay, on the next one, we're going to thread our right hand through our left armpit. So we're going to inhale, reach up, taking our right hand through the left armpit. Top of the right hand is on the ground. Left hand can match it, and then open up to the ceiling. And now we're in a twist. And breathe, keeping that left knee where it is. Good. Breathing in and out through your nose. Beautiful. And then slowly bringing that left leg up, making sure you square yourself off a little bit, and then hug your knees into your chest nice and tight. And now we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So release the left leg down to the ground, hugging that right knee into your chest nice and tight. And then take that right knee across the body, hop onto that left hip a little bit. If you need to, right arm comes out into that T position. And we're in the same twist on the other side. And breathe in and out through the nose. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, bring the right hand next to the left shoulder. So right hand presses the ground away by that left shoulder as we undo that left hip, and we're laying on the ground with our right leg up in that 4 position like we're sleeping. So same way, and then hands are going to be out in front of us, fingertips on the ground as you inhale, make that wave-like motion up. And then exhale back down. Let's do it again. Inhale, tucking the chin, rolling that spine up. Looking forward as we come down. And last one, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to tuck our toes under, pressing up into a downward dog. All the way up. Good. From here, we're just going to warm up the body a little bit by doing a couple of Vinyasa flows. So we're going to shift our weight forward, nice and tight, core engaged, legs engaged, elbows are drawn in. And then we can drop our knees here if we like as we slowly lower Chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra, tops of the feet on the floor, pinching your elbows together. And then exhale, press the ground away onto your knees, tuck your toes, and going into our downward dog. Beautiful. So we're going to do that two more times. And you can either do the modified version with knees on the ground, or you can take the full expression, and I'll show you what that looks like. So in our downward dog, we're going to shift forward into that high plank position, core nice and tight, hug your elbows in, engage your legs, shift forward, and then slowly lower Chaturanga. Inhale, tops of the feet on the floor, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's go one more time for a safe measure. So inhale, coming all the way forward into that high plank position. Hug those elbows in, shift your weight forward, core nice and tight as you slowly lower Chaturanga. And then inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Good. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's go ahead, drop your knees nice and wide, untuck your toes, sitting your hips back over your heels, forehead to the ground, child's pose. And breathe. Beautiful. Okay, from here we're going to come up into our tabletop position. Our knees are going to be hip width apart, tucking the toes under again as we press up into that downward dog. But then we're just going to walk our feet to our hands slowly. Bringing those feet all the way in between the hands, bending your knees if you need to, and then ending in that forward fold. You can grab each elbow and let your head just kind of hang down. Good. And breathe. Beautiful. Let's go ahead. Inhale as we come up one vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. Head up last. And inhale, swoop your arms all the way up overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to open up the hips a little bit more, and we're going to add in a little bit of core movement as well. So let's go ahead, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, small bend in the knees, place your hands down to the ground, and then step your left leg back into a lunge position. From here, we're going to heel toe the right foot all the way to the side of the mat, bringing both hands to the center. So on the inside of the right foot. From here, we're just going to wiggle back and forth a little bit, opening up that hip. And here's where the core and the hip mobility comes in. So we're going to engage our core, stay in the plank position as we bring that right leg back. And then we're going to bring the left leg forward in the same position. So it's going to be on the outside of both of our hands. And just breathing here for a moment. Good, wiggling back and forth, allowing this hip to open up a little bit. Good, and now we're going to go ahead and switch sides again. So bringing that left leg back, core nice and tight, as we bring that right leg forward on the outside of our hands. And if you need to move your hands, or use your hands to move your foot, that's totally okay. Every time you do it, you're going to get better and better. So one day, being able to do this movement without hands. All right, core tight, making that switch again, bringing that right leg back, left leg forward. And now we're gonna add in a new element. Either you can keep doing it one at a time like that, or we can jump and switch. Maybe try it out. Jump and switch. Couple more times. Jump and switch, breathe. Good, and switch. Beautiful, couple more. Switch. 2 more on either side. How about that? Here we go. Switch. And last one. Switch. Beautiful. Go ahead, release that right leg back into that downward dog. Breathing for a moment here, pressing one heel down to the ground and the other. Good. And let's go ahead, drop the knees all the way down to the ground, untuck the toes, forehead to the ground, hips on the heels, child's pose. Beautiful. And let's go ahead, slowly walking your hands all the way back up until we come seated on the heels. And we're gonna work on our heels a little bit here. So a lot of you have heard me give this spiel many, many times, but heels, ankles are one of the most important parts of snowboarding. And so we wanna make sure that we can sit on our ankles here comfortably. And so if you can't sit here on your ankles comfortably yet, you can always take a towel and roll it up and put it underneath your ankles there instead to give you a little bit more relief. But until then, we're gonna practice to see what we can do. So sitting with our knees together, right on top of our ankles or our heels here, we can either just stay seated here, or if this is comfortable for you, we can always put our hands back behind us and test it out, see if we can get a little bit more range there. So try to bring your knees up, making more of a pull on that ankle joint. And breathe. Good. Beautiful. And slowly release all the way back down. Okay, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, that was it. It was short, sweet, and to the point today. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to let me know in the comments below, or you can message me on our Instagram. If you want to make it a personal message, that's totally fine as well. And what else? If you ever do want to get into one of the Zoom classes where it's an hour long, where we have a Shavasana and a warm-up and usually a breathing exercise, then again, feel free to comment below or message me and I will get you into one of those classes. Until then, we will see you guys on Sunday for our live, and then Mark will see you on Monday where he's going to get nerdy with you. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.